Hi, welcome to this video. In today's video, we're going to talk about private attributes, or let's say private members. Here, we are having a class called bank account. We are having a constructor that has two arguments, account number and balance. And whenever we are creating an object of this class, these two parameters or arguments are being assigned to my attributes. And you see that these are private attributes because they are having two underscores, or let's say a double underscore. Because they are having double underscore, we realize that they are private attributes. We are having a function called deposit, and whenever this function is called, we need one argument called amount, and that amount is added to the balance of our bank account. And we see that when we would like to update this balance attribute, because it's a private attribute, we are having double underscore. And then we are showing this message. Deposited, and then the amount is shown, and the new balance is also being printed. Then we are having a function called withdraw, and it also requires one argument. So when we call this function, we pass one amount as argument for calling this function. Then we check if this amount that we would like to withdraw from the bank account is lower than or equal to the current balance of our bank account. If so, it is going to reduce that amount from the balance, okay, and then show this message. Withdraw, and then show the amount that we want to withdraw, and then show the remaining balance of our bank account. And if the amount is not lower than or equal to balance, it means that it is larger than the balance. So in this case, we are falling into this else part and we are saying that insufficient funds because we would like to withdraw some amount of money that we don't have that much in our bank account. For example, if we want to withdraw $10,000 and we only have $5,000, it shows the message insufficient funds. And also we are having a function called getBalance that it is going to show the amount of balance that we have in our bank account. Here we are creating an instance, or let's say the object of the bank account class, and we are passing two arguments. What are these two arguments? Account number and balance. So the account number is just a random number that I'm writing down here, like 1 to 9 is the account number, we assume that. And the balance, the current balance of the bank account is $5,000. So this number bank account is assigned to the account number private attribute, and then the 5,000 is assigned to the double underscore balance attribute of my class. Then, if we would like to try to access a private attribute like this, we are going to have errors. So we cannot use the object and then dot and then the name of the private attribute. So when I run, we see that we are going to have errors here. And the error cause is because we are trying to directly access a private attribute here. Okay, so when I comment this part and I run the code one more time, we see that we have no error and everything works perfectly. But when we want to access directly to the private attribute, it returns an error. So this is the first lesson of this coding exercise. We cannot directly access private attributes unless we are using name mangling method. So we are going to talk about name mangling as well in a few minutes. But directly, it's not possible to do that. In order to access private attributes, the correct way is to have a getter function, and we had a getBalance function actually. So we use the name of the object, then dot, then the name of our getBalance function. Basically, this function is going to return the amount of the balance that we have in our bank account. So in the print function, it is used, so it is going to print the amount that we have currently in the balance private attribute. And because we just initialized the object, we know that 5,000 is a number that we have in our current balance because we didn't do any deposit or withdraw. So first of all, it is going to show this 5,000 to us, as we see here when I run the code. Then we are going to deposit some amount of money and also withdraw some amount of money. In order to call the deposit function, we use the object, then the name of the function, then the amount 2,000. So this 2,000 that is passed to the deposit function is added to the current balance. So the current balance is now 7,000. So it says deposited 2,000 and new balance is 7,000. So this is how it works with the deposit function. This 2,000 is added to balance and this message is shown. And then this message is shown deposited like 2,000, new balance, and then the new balance, which is 7,000, is shown. Then we would like to withdraw some amount of money. So we use the first object to call the withdraw function and we pass 3,000 as the argument. It means that we would like to withdraw 3,000 from the bank, from our balance, from our bank account. So first of all, we check that if the 3,000 is lower than the balance of the bank or not, bank account or not. So we saw that we updated the balance and it is now 7,000. So we check 3,000 is lower than or equal to 7,000. Is it true? Yes. If it's true, reduce that 3,000 from the 7,000 and type down withdrew 3,000 remaining balance 4,000. So it is going to show this message in the output. Okay. And we are seeing that withdrew 3,000 remaining balance 4,000. How it works, it is going to check 3K is lower than 7K. Yes. Then reduce that 3K from 7K. And why the 7K is the balance? Because we just deposited to 2K to the balance in the previous step. So if you remember here, we added 2,000. So we already had 5,000. We added 2,000. So it is now 7,000 and 7,000 minus 3,000 that we want to withdraw. It is 4,000 that is shown here in the output. Okay. So the correct way to access a private attribute is to use a function or a method that do that for us, like the get balance. However, we can also access them using name mangling method. To use name mangling method, we type down the name of the object, then 1_, then the name of the class, which is bank account, and then 2_, then the name of the variable, which is the balance. So 2_ balance is the name of my private attribute here. Before that is the name of the class, and before that we are having 1_ dot, and then before that we are having the object that we created from that class. So in this video, we learned how to work with private members or attributes and how we can directly access them only through the name mangling method, but it's better to use a getter method, for example, the get balance. So there is a function that returns that balance for us. And we learned how we can update the private attributes in a class using, for example, a deposit function that we are going to add some amount of money to our bank account, or the withdraw function that we are going to withdraw some amount of money from our bank account, and the balance attribute, which is private, is now being updated after each call of one of these two functions. Thank you for watching.